I'm a pastor, an artist, an author, a scholar, and a conversation. Welcome to ChatFest with Kenneth. Hello, and welcome to another episode of ChatFest with Kenneth. My guest today is Dr. Calvin Bond. I probably should introduce him, but I guess I kind of feel my guests can introduce themselves better rather than going down something that has been written. I would rather they introduce themselves. So, without much ado, here's presenting Dr. Calvin. Okay, and here is Dr. Calvin Bonds. Yay!
Yes.
How are you, mister? No, how are you, doctor?
I am doing fine, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a wonderful day. We had some technical issues before we started.
Yes, we did. But you know what? We got it figured out. And it's a
Yeah.
beautiful morning here. It's a beautiful California morning here. So it's the seeing the sun always makes me smile.
Well, it is a chilly DC morning here. It's like 28
Okay.
degrees outside.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that's
And
all right.
besides, there's a doctor here, there's a doctor in the making. Come on now, we got to figure this out.
That's right. That's right. Yes, you are on your way, Mr. PhD. Come on, man.
Yes. And the workload is not.
It's not easy, but you know what? It will be worth it.
I know, and I just got nominated for some leadership group, the National Society of Leadership and Success. I just got
Oh man,
nominated to be.
congratulations, man.
Thank you. And
Mhm.
so now I'm like, is that more reading I got to do? What?
My God. Yeah, you're gonna be called to do so many things, man. That's wonderful. I'm glad to be able to celebrate your successes along the way with you and be able to watch it as you go through it.
Well, thank you. You are my inspiration.
Oh man, thank you.
Well, now
Thank
let's
you.
talk about, since we're talking about this doctorate degree, can you tell us, Dr. Calvin, introduce us to Dr. Calvin?
Yes, sir. So I'm Calvin Bonds, Dr. Calvin Bonds. I am actually been here in California for like 18 plus years. I've been here for a little while. Before then, I was in uh Tennessee, and then before then Oklahoma, and then New York. But uh, yeah, so I have my doctoral degree in organizational leadership under the discipline of education and psychology from Pepperdine University. And yes, I work as a consultant. I work in three arenas. I work as a consultant where I go to different organizations and different leaders, and then I work with them on business development, which is how to take your business to the next level, how to make sure your employees get along. So we have conversations that deal with everything from diversity to leadership to change, how to go through change. So I do that. I also do coaching, so I can be in a room with the CEO, or I can be in a room with thousands of people, just talking to them, having these conversations, making it very interactive, so that everyone can align with the mission and the values of the organization. So I work in leadership, like I said, as a consultant. I also work in Hollywood. Now I moved to Los
The
Angeles, California,
Hollywood.
to yeah, yeah. I moved here to get into the entertainment industry, and I've done a lot of, I've had the opportunity, the blessing. And I call it a blessing because you never know what happens when you come here.
Mhm.
But I've had the blessing of, of being an actor. I've had been on a few shows. I also had the opportunity to be a model, to work as a runway model, and I've had the opportunity to model. And here, I mean, actually, in some parts of Africa, Nigeria, yeah. So I've had a pretty
Hey,
good run.
wait. Aren't
Currently,
you an
I work in
opera
Hollywood.
singer?
Yes. So I studied. I got a chance to study. Help me, because I'm leaving some of this off. So I got a chance to study opera in Pisa, Italy, and so I've done some singing, some opera singing as well, and classical music as well. So,
Okay.
but currently I work in Hollywood. I work. My second thing that I do is I work as a publicist for Oscar-nominated films, for Best Live Action Short Film. And it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Like, I usually do like the red carpets. I usually do, just I do make sure the clients feel great. And I'm usually kind of one of the organized, one of the ones that's helping and kind of in the mix of things around the time of the Oscars.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
So an organization out of London. And then the third thing is some of what we're going to talk about today is as a way of social impact, and just doing what I can do to help on a global society. I'm into global enterprise and then global impact. And I run an organization that helps give resources to people on African soil. And right now our major target area is Nigeria, but we're definitely expanding. So and I can talk to you a little bit more about that as well.
Okay. So you did mention diversity.
Yes.
So when this whole revolution started as a result of the, I want to say death, but I'll say the murder of George Floyd.
Oh, yes.
How was your perspective and your business regarding bringing enlightenment to folks who somehow claim to have been naive? They just claim to have been naive. They didn't know that, oh, there's white privilege. And suddenly it's like, oh, there is white privilege. Oh.
Yes. Yes. Well, regarding his death and the death of so many other, especially people of color, it is something unfortunate that's going on here in the U.S., and actually, deaths like that going on across the world.
Yes.
So one of the subjects that I talk about in diversity training is implicit bias.
Mm-hmm.
And implicit bias means that we're all biased to
Yes,
some degree. We have our preferences. In raising your household, you have a certain type of food that you prefer. You have a certain type of thing that you prefer, and then your depiction of people, a lot of times, may be based on what you've been raised around and what your family have told you, or what you may have seen on television. And unfortunately, a lot of people have not had um, uh, a lot of close experiences with Black people in particular, or people of color, but what you see on television. And then, and growing up on television, you saw a lot of Black people that was portrayed as what? Drug dealers, as portrayed as gang members or in the prison. And so therefore, unfortunately, whatever our depictions are, it's ingrained in us, and it becomes
because
an
that
implicit bias.
imagery actually will now fuel or define our heuristics.
Exactly. And so, our brain, one of my concentrations in my dissertation, it has to do with the neuroscience of the brain. And so, in the neuroscience of the brain, your brain automatically, when you see this person, it can be a trigger based on, it can go back to what you were exposed to in growing up. And so therefore you have an automatic urge, you have an implicit bias to act a certain way to either a certain race or a certain group of people, or to a certain situation because of a trigger. And so we have these types of conversations, and then in having these types of conversations, the question is, well, what can we do to suspend those biases? Yes, we may have been raised a certain way, but how do I suspend the fact that in my mind, I may think all Black people are bad, or I may think that all Black people are offensive and are threatening. But how do I suspend that? Well, first of all, I have to acknowledge it. And then once I acknowledge it, I begin to have the conversations and I get into the room. It's important to get into a room where there's a diversity of people so that you can
Well,
talk.
wait. Let me interrupt you here. What
Sure.
about when say I was a white person and I honestly believe that I don't have any bias. I honestly believe that I'm open-minded and all. And I want to have this conversation, but it feels like I'm being attacked already. Like, oh, I'm already guilty. As I
Right.
come to the table, I'm already labeled as guilty. Then how is the conversation supposed to be had without making the person on the other side feel like, oh, you're guilty and you're the villain?
Well, you bring in a Dr. Calvin Bonds. You bring in
Bloop.
you bring in Dr. Calvin Bonds. So my first thing as a coach, as a consultant, and as a trainer is to make sure that I build trust with you as the participants in the class or in the coaching session, and then to make sure that you all build trust with each other. So the idea is not to point that person out. The idea is to put yourself on the cross and say, okay, let's talk about biases and let's talk about implicit biases. And I begin to call out my own. So again, we all have implicit biases.
Yes, we all do.
When you're having these conversations, you don't want to make anyone feel attacked.
Yes.
In fact, you want to make the room so comfortable until we can talk about, those very sensitive topics and still feel like, wow, this is something, and I wasn't laughed at. A lot of times people don't have conversation because they'll feel like people will laugh at them, they will attack them, or they'll feel like, oh, this person just automatically don't like them. So it's very important. I tell a lot of people who want to be coaches and trainers, you have to make sure that you know how to set the stage. And if you know how to set the stage where everyone is comfortable, and it may not happen in just one 30-minute session. So, one of my biggest clients, I fly to every month, because it's an ongoing conversation. A lot of stuff that happens in the workplace and that happens in our own lives, it took years to build. So we're not going to get over it overnight.
The schema that we have took years to build that schema. So it's not just going to be reconditioned in one session.
Exactly. But the good news is
it can be.
Change is possible, and it is possible to have those conversations and to get to that point.
Okay, sir. Well,
yes.
You have a Nigerian heritage, right?
Yes, I do. So I'm half American and I'm half Nigerian.
So you're a Nigerian American, just like
I'm Nigerian American. Yes, my father is Nigerian and my mom is American.
Okay, and because of our heritage, we know how much importance our Nigerian culture puts on education. There's almost like a pressure you must attain. You must do. So is that what made you go all the way to get your doctorate? What has been your passion for education?
Ironically, it wasn't the Nigerian tradition.
Okay.
It was it was two things. One, I just love learning. And I tell people, I said, it's like I love giving institutions loan money. I don't know what it is, but it's just I love passing out money. But no, I'm a lifelong student. Whereas I feel like in life, you learn so much in life. And then the second thing is, I think in growing up for me, I think I could hide a lot of things that I may have gone through growing up in education. I can hide a lot of the pressures of life in education, a lot of stress. Well, what do I take it out in? Well, instead of going out and, robbing a store or going astray or becoming a statistic, I can filter all of that and just put it in education.
Okay.
And I think that was very important to me.
So I remember I asked my dean for one of my universities. I was actually doing a print interview of him,
Yeah.
and I asked him, I was like, you have multiple degrees, like multiple. When do you know enough is enough? Like, are you going to keep going for one PhD to the next PhD to the next PhD? At what point does it become redundant?
Right. Well, I don't know what your professor said, but I know for me, that's when you die. Learning stops when you die. So, even now,
Can you say that again?
I got 4 degrees.
Can you say that again, please?
Learning, yes. Learning stops when you die. You are to be a lifelong learner. Yes. You are to be a lifelong learner.
Okay.
Yes. So for me, I got 4 degrees, I have certifications, I have all these trainings, but I'm in school now. I'm learning Spanish as a second language.
Lord have mercy.
So,
You're
exactly.
an
So, and then once I finish that, I'm going to start with something else. It may be sign language. It may be this. It may be that. It's very important to keep your brain going with whatever it is that challenges you. And you don't
because
have
the
to.
brain stops learning. If you stop teaching the brain, then it starts deteriorating.
Exactly. And for me, I'm passionate about learning. Like, I love learning. I love learning. So I'm always like wondering what's next. How can I expand my mind? Because we only use a small percentage of our brain.
True.
Yeah.
So, GEW.
Yes.
How did you get the passion?
Yes.
How did you catch this vision for global empowerment workshop?
Global employment workforce.
Employment
Yes.
workforce. Did I just change the whole name?
Okay. Don't be changing my name. No. My first trip to Nigeria was like in 2000.
That was your first.
That was my first trip. That was my first trip. And I loved it. I loved it so much until I started going back every year. Going back.
What did you love about
it?
I
even moved. Well, what I just love my people. The first time I was there, I felt like I was home. I was just home. It was just like a beautiful place. You got people of all shades of Black, which I love because I'm for the people.
Culture and heritage.
And then I was just being able to go to my state, Anambra State, going to my village, and it was just like a part of me was connected. It was like I was complete. It was filled. Okay, I know I have a direct connection to my heritage, and so I love. And then I began to ask, and I love all the opportunities that came from it. But I began to ask questions. What is your biggest need? Everyone there. What is your biggest need? And everyone would always say money, job, money, job. I don't have money. Job, and I need this. I need that. And so, being over here in the United States, my question was, what can I do to, what is my part in this? And so as I'm going through school, I'm getting these master's degrees and these doctoral degrees and blah, blah, blah. I had to come up with a solution.
Okay.
And my solution was, okay, I can't help everyone. There's like 200 million people there. I can't help, but
over 200.
In doing my own part, right. And doing my own part, I can help people by helping to supply jobs, supply training, and giving them access to funding, and also creating a platform where people can collaborate and network with each other so that they can form a synergy to help each other to be more competitive in the global workforce. And so all of that has been going through my head, and it's like, what can I do? So I started a global platform called Global Employment Workforce, and it does just that. First and foremost, it provides online virtual jobs, meaning You can apply for jobs from the comfort of your own home.
And
If
this
you're
is for
in the
people
village, you have the
in
same act.
Nigeria,
This is for people on African soil,
on African soil.
specifically now. But my major target is people right now is people in Nigeria. But
Okay.
it's for everyone. It's for everybody.
Okay.
So in your living room, you can apply for jobs. And the areas in which you can apply for jobs are business, fashion, and entertainment. We are the first platform that provides job opportunities. We post jobs every single week in business, fashion, and entertainment. And that's www.globalemploymentworkforce.com. www.globalemploymentworkforce.com. So we
Are you on
provide
social
jobs.
media too?
Yes, we are. We are. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, and in fact, a lot of our collaboration happens in our Facebook group. So if you go to Facebook, you can go to globalemploymentworkforce.com. Go to that Facebook group, and you will be able to see everybody interacting every single day. There's questions that's being asked. There's
So
collaboration projects.
let me recap this. So
Yes.
I'm this young boy in Lagos. I'm looking for a job. So what you're telling me is I literally can go online or go to your Facebook group, and there is the possibility for me to find employment in one of those three areas that you mentioned.
Most definitely.
Wow.
So if you're in Lagos and you are looking for a job and you're looking for a job to do from the comfort of your own home,
Wow.
we post jobs every single week. We are a virtual jobs community. Now, let me tell you about this community. Let me tell you about everything that we provide. So number one is jobs. We provide jobs in business, fashion, and entertainment. Number two is training. So we just did a training on how to properly do your CV,
Okay.
how to do your CV and put yourself out there in the best way so that you can be hired.
Mm-hmm.
We have activities on interviewing. We have collaboration projects on how to interview, what to do and what not to do in an interview. So you get training. Training is happening. Number three is funding. So we give funding a lot to entrepreneurs. So if you're an entrepreneur or you got a business idea, then you have an opportunity, one, to post your business. And then number two, you also have the opportunity to receive funding for your business.
Wow.
And at the top of the year, we're going to start a major funding program. Now, this is for major funding. It's going to be like a 6-month program where you're going to learn about a business plan. You're going to learn about financial plan. You're going to learn how to do a proposal. You're going to learn how to do a vision board. All of this stuff. And at the end, you'll be able to pitch your business for major funding. And again, this is a virtual. Everything can be done from home. Everything can be done from home. And the whole idea was to give the same access to the person in the village who may not have gone to school, who may not have had the opportunities. Give that same access to the person in the big city, in Lagos, in Abuja, who have gone to school. And but when you're online, everyone has equal access.
That's
Equal
true.
access.
That's true.
So you got funding, you have training, you have jobs, and then you have collaboration. We have collaboration projects. Like we have a collaboration project now where you sign up for it, and we will put you with somebody that you don't know, and you have to work on a project together. You got to share ideas. You got to make it work, because when you're in the work world, that's what you're doing. You're
That's the reality
collaborating.
of the
You're
workforce.
building a network. That's the reality of the workforce. And so if you're in NYSC, we have funding. We give funding out if you're in NYSC, if you're serving your country or if you're serving a military body, because it's hard. It is hard out there. When you are in NYSC and you're serving your country, it's like, okay, I need money. I need money. And so there's so many opportunities, so many.
And you said something
Op-
earlier that you are looking to expand.
Yes,
Oh,
yes, we're looking to expand. So, in doing so, what we want to do is, first of all, we want to, unfortunately, not all of Nigeria knows about us. But one, we need means of getting the word out about this opportunity to all of Nigeria and on major platforms.
Okay.
Number two, we also are looking for expansion so that people in other countries, people in other countries can be a part of this. It's the same, because we want to pair people with Nigeria with people from South Africa, with people from Ghana, having them work together on projects, learning from each other, collaborating with each other, looking at cultures, and by that, looking at their own implicit biases and saying, oh, wow, my way is not the only way of doing things.
Yeah, because the problem with Africa is there tends to be a tendency to be ethnocentric.
Right.
With your culture, you just have one tunnel vision with, tribalism.
Sure. But guess what? The best experience I had when I traveled over there and in different places of the world, like I've had the opportunity to go to like China and Mexico and India. I found out that my way was not the only way to do things.
Exactly.
But I would have never known that if I wasn't given the opportunity. Sure. So this platform gives the opportunity to people to learn from each other and to learn something new and to know that there's a different way of doing things. So
go ahead. I'm sorry, finish your train of thought.
Yeah, so I want to encourage everyone to go to our website and subscribe. So you subscribe, and once you subscribe, you get to be a part of this global platform. So you're not subscribing for jobs. You're subscribing to be a part of the virtual jobs community, which means you can apply for jobs. You apply for major funding. You can receive free training. You get funding for NYSC. You get to advertise your business for free. You get collaboration projects. You get all of those things.
Okay. So last question for you.
Yeah.
We see this.
Sure.
We see this vision, which is pro-social. And it has the potential to affect a diversity across Africa. What about people who want to support the vision? Who want to is there a forum for it?
Yes. So what you do is you go to our Facebook page and you send us a message. If you go to Facebook and type in Global Employment Workforce, go to our page and you inbox us. Let us know that you want to support our vision. Let us know, and you will be able to see on our page we're active every single day. Every single day, people are applying for jobs. You'll see it, and once you inbox us, let us know how you want to be involved.
What kind of support are you open to getting?
Well, the support that we're open to getting are a few different things. Number one, we need platforms to let people know that we have this job resource available. So if you have access to large groups of people, we need to be able to say, you know what, we want to invite all of your people to come be a part of our platform so that you can have opportunities for jobs. So if you have access to radio stations, if you have access to magazines, or if you're in contact with influencers who have large followings on Instagram and Facebook and all these different platforms, we would like to talk and say, hey, this platform is available, and actually send you flyers, send you verbiage so that you can let people know we have a resource for you. And you can do it from your home, from the comfort of your own home. Okay. So we're open to that. If you want to make donations, you can make donations. What you do again is just find, you can go to our Facebook page and then send us a message and let us know that you want to get involved. Global Employment Workforce. Global Employment Workforce. Our website is www.globalemploymentworkforce.com. And if you need a job or if you want funding for your business, go and sign up. Get it so you can jump into our program that's about to start.
You hear that? In these times that are hard, this is an opportunity that has been put out by Dr. Calvin Bond. Well, yes. Thank you very much for your time with us today. We appreciate you and we appreciate your service and your making an impact. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you so much. And also I want to say thank you for providing your platform so that you can have these types of conversations with different people that's in business, different people impacting the world in their own right. So thank you for having me on your platform.
Oh, you are too kind. Now give us a note.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. I was gonna say hit some opera note. Oh, I'm just kidding.
There you go. See, there you go. Wait a minute. You're the same. Okay. Okay. See, we got to talk more because yes, all these projects you have coming out. We got to talk. We got to talk. We're
I'm
going to talk some
following
more about
behind you. I'm following your footsteps. How about that? Okay, man. Take care now.
that. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. And that was our conversation with Dr. Calvin Bond. More details about the global employment workforce. Why do I keep missing it? And I keep missing the name. Anyhow, the information about it will be in the description of the video with the necessary links to connect with him. And do not forget to like this video, subscribe, make your comments. I'm open to hearing your opinions, suggestions, and all, feedback as well. And more importantly, support. We would love you to support. So you please share this video with your network. Support in any way possible that you can, financially and all. And thank you very much for viewing this. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And this has been ChatFest with Kenneth.